Yo people, welcome back to another video. Now, I know I'm late with the whole R-Truth release thing. They also fired Carlito and bro took his PS5 with him from the Judgement Day clubhouse as we saw on last night's Monday Night Raw. Now, a lot of people have been talking about, oh, it's Triple H's fault, it's TKO's fault. And I think it's both of their faults unless Triple H is actually being used as a puppet by TKO, which at that point, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we all saw that Money in the Bank announcement video where Triple H, in that video, looked like he was just forced to do it. He looked like Stephanie and his kids were behind the camera with guns to their heads and he just had to do it. He looked awkward, he looked stiff, no diddy. A lot of these top companies do it. We see Star Wars do it with Dave Filoni, Marvel do it with Kevin Feige. The companies grab onto this star guy that everyone glazes, and if anything goes wrong, they hide behind that guy. And I think TKO has got to the point where they're doing that with Triple H. However, Triple H is not innocent in all of this, and we'll discuss him later on in the video. As for the R-Truth news, it's a disgrace. A guy who, yeah, he wasn't fighting every week, but he was entertaining whenever he'd step out there and do anything. Even segments backstage. He made the most out of the time that he was given. Even if he was given garbage, even if he got 10 seconds, he managed to make you laugh. We're looking at arguably the funniest guy in the history of WWE, who's been doing this for over a decade, and he loses his job. We've seen how many wrestlers have come out in support for R-Truth. So many rumors about how the locker room is devastated, they're shocked, they're angry. Wrestlers apparently checking their contracts, making sure everything's fine because they need to feel safe. They don't feel safe because they might be next. We even saw that The Miz basically unfollowed WWE and unassociated himself from the WWE on social media. And that's where I start to question things. We also had Dominic Mysterio, who was wearing Carlito's merch last night on Monday Night Raw. We saw Rhea Ripley in an R-Truth shirt yesterday night, but she took it off when it came to her segment. And when things like this start to happen, it just feels like a corporate decision. And it can't just be Triple H. It 100% has to have been TKO behind all of this at the very least, even if they're forcing Triple H's hand and making him take the blame. But this TKO partnership has been an absolute disgrace since it happened. WWE has sold its soul, and finally people are starting to realize TKO can't keep hiding behind Triple H, and people need to stop glazing Triple H, stop praising Triple H. He isn't innocent in all of this. TKO was meant to elevate this brand, make it more commercial, make it more cool and acceptable to like wrestling, allow more budget to do bigger things with the company, and instead we've seen garbage pay-per-views, 50,000 ads every show, sponsorship spammed all over the mats, the arenas, the segments, ticket prices going insanely high, just pricing out the regular fan, an insane number of cuts already this year as they keep going with this unhealthy maximize profits approach. Another thing as well, and this is the fans' fault if I'm being honest, when they announced John Cena versus R-Truth at Saturday Night Main Event, people were having meltdowns and crying that this is a waste of time, there's no point in having this match, R-Truth is washed. So you're giving TKO a reason to just get rid of this guy. You're giving R-Truth a bad name. And all of a sudden, when R-Truth gets released, those same people that were complaining are now crying and upset because, oh, R-Truth got released. A lot of people online are fake and they run with whatever narrative is popular so they can get views. Now, let's talk about Triple H. If he wanted to keep R-Truth, he could have, in my opinion. This is the roster he's spearheading. The characters, the stories, this is all on him. If he really wanted to, he could have saved R-Truth and he could have told TKO, yo, I need this guy, keep him. The reason he takes blame is because his talent finding and the wrestlers he pushes and he likes the most are mostly hype merchants or just boring talents no one cares about. He literally managed to kill both the tag team divisions because he has this fetish with the War Raiders who just stink. And on SmackDown, he was forcing the whole Motor City, whatever the fuck they're called, and all these feuds that no one cares about, and he's buried both divisions. He pushed Cody Rhodes to the moon with fake propaganda and brainwashed everyone into thinking Roman Reigns' accomplishments in the company were because of Cody Rhodes. We even had Randy Orton do a segment glazing Cody Rhodes, saying that Cody Rhodes' legacy is bigger than Randy Orton. Now, what are we doing here? I just can't help but feel with this R-Truth move, Triple H is trying to undo all the Vince McMahon decisions and the links, even with Roman Reigns. Roman has done nothing of importance since he lost his title. Yeah, he got the Ula Fala back. He doesn't even wear that shit half the time he's here. He hasn't had a rematch for the belt. His story hasn't progressed. His character hasn't developed. We know that was the last Vince McMahon champion. But even then, with his own talents, like I've mentioned, the tag team division is dead. Pretty much every championship run feels boring. There's no champion that you can really say, oh yeah, he's had 2 good feuds in a row. This whole long-term booking thing, it kills the company because it saves them from not being critiqued in the moment. And then when something happens and the payoff doesn't work, Oh, wait, there's still more long-term booking. So there's no accountability at all. This long-term booking, it works with 1 or 2 stories at a time, but you can't always do it with every champion. Every champion right now is guaranteed to hold a belt for at least 3 months. And it gets boring, it gets predictable. On top of that, we're seeing Jey Uso and John Cena, both of our main event champions, in a tag team match for Money in the Bank, which is meant to be one of the big 4 pay-per-views. The whole thing is an absolute joke. People like Carmelo Hayes rotting away, getting jobbed out every week, even though he came into the main roster at the same time as Bron Breakker, Tiffy, and Valkyria. Everyone else has touched championship gold apart from him. Then you have Triple H giving a fake luchador a push instead of the actual ones that they have. And this is no shade to Chad Gable. I like Chad Gable. But the fact that a fake guy, someone whose gimmick is to be a pretender, is getting an actual push ahead of these other guys, it's a bit crazy. Those racism allegations might be real after all of this, especially with what MVP came out saying the other day, plus the firing of R-Truth, Carlito, the way he handles certain people like Carmelo Hayes, something that has to be investigated. As for R-Truth, like I said, he has contributed so much to the company, and I'm going to give you a list of people that I would personally fire who have done way less than R-Truth, contributed way less in general, and somehow they're still around, jobbing around, wasting their time. You got people like Tozawa, like, no offense to him, but it's time to go. This losing gimmick, being a loser, being a bum, it's not going to go anywhere. You're not going to end up winning a championship, so who cares? Maxine as well, she's not good enough as a solo wrestler, so unless you put her in a tag team, it's time to go. You even got Berto and Angel, and as a Latino myself, I'm sorry, but it's time to go. Get rid of about half of those tag teams at the very least. Natalia, she literally never does anything. We saw more of her on that boat party that the women's wrestler were on last week than we've actually seen her be relevant in the main roster for years. We got people like B-Fab, Michin, they can go as well. We have to see them every week on SmackDown for no reason. They lose all their matches, no one cares. Grayson Waller, Ludwig Kaiser, Pete Dunne, they need to go. They are the standard jobbers on Raw. They do nothing, and I personally wouldn't have brought back Aleister Black and Rusev, even less. Rusev is not that guy. He'll never be that guy, and neither of these guys are going to amount to anything anyways, so what was the point? Instead, they're getting in the way of actual talent like Carmelo Hayes that should be receiving a push. Instead, no, they're getting forced into these dumb things where they have to take pins and lose every week. At this point, I'd unfortunately get rid of Shinsuke Nakamura because this company has failed him year after year, time after time. Even the heel gimmick that they did for him, that had potential, they threw it in the bin. Tonga Loa deserves to be fired for the amount of botches he's done. He's basically a meme and he doesn't get fired. He should be the first one gone in the next set of releases. He should have gone at the start of the year. I'd also get rid of Karrion Kross and Scarlett, and hear me out because I've left him specifically for last place because people were glazing the fact that he managed to sneak into the top merch sellers of WWE a few weeks ago, and while yeah, that's all good for him, it sounds good on paper, but it just shows how badly they've handled the talent across the board that a guy who does nothing every week is outselling most of the roster. As for who would replace those people, if you even want to replace them, you can start by bringing in more NXT talents. There are plenty of men and women that are ready and they're stuck in NXT because some of the main roster talent themselves can't even get a chance on TV. Instead, we have to see Michin about 50,000 times on every SmackDown, and we have to see all these other jobbers, War Raiders, and all these people every single week, and we know they're going to lose. This whole company is just given the most repetitive, the most boring storylines. The champions barely have to fight. Most of the roster can't cut promos without clinging on to their catchphrases, if they even have one. We have the same set of people over and over having the similar type of matches. A versus B, A versus C, D versus A, D versus B. It's boring. There's no passion, there's no excitement, there's no intensity in feuds, nothing like Triple H breaking into Randy Orton's home, or even something as basic as Jeff Hardy throwing paint on John Morrison. Even if there's a stupid storyline, just do it. Just freshen up the formula. The cookie cutter stories is over. Even Def Rebel, they can't make entrance music to save their lives. What they've done to half of these wrestlers at this point is diabolical. There's no pops when their music goes off. What is the point? Even down to the celebrity glazing thing, this is absolute cringe. You got Vanessa Hudgens and you got Macaulay Culkin, fair enough, those are genuine fans that you have a genuine history of seeing them appear out of their own will. They want to go, they enjoy the show, they enjoy the product. But then, we got Cardi B hosting SummerSlam, which is cringe. Megan Thee Stallion, she's being involved in the company. She's the theme song for SmackDown. We got Sexy Red appearing often on NXT and all these other shows. They are literally choosing ex-prostitutes and whores as celebrities to give all these special collaborations to? Why are you giving away such a gift and a blessing to these random whores that do nothing? They are so out of touch with which celebrities to choose, who people like, and this is all just a mix of why this product is declining. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. What do you think of the R-Truth firing? Is TKO using Triple H as a puppet, or is all of this Triple H's ideas? I'd appreciate if you could leave a like on the video, sub to the channel, and thank you for your time.